Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Matola, and I am going to be going over how to search the catalog. For this week's assignment, we are going to be practicing searching the catalog by title, and so I wanted to record this video to give us a little bit of practice before you all practice on your own. So for this assignment, we are going to be searching by title. So you'll see here, the first thing that you want to be sure is that this says Riley Elementary School. It should default to this link. It should say Riley Elementary School here, but just double check that before you continue. This week we are searching by title. So what you're going to want to do is click where it says all fields, and then you're going to click title. So we'll click on that. For this practice, we are going to search Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So y'all just watch and I'll go over how to search and what sort of information we'll find in our catalog. So I'm going to type Diary of a Wimpy Kid into the search bar, and then I'm going to click search. Now, when we search, this is going to show us any results from our library that contain the words Diary of a Wimpy Kid in the title. So there are a lot of books in that series. It's going to show us all of those results. Now, while we're looking through the catalog, it is also going to itemize or give us a list of all the results. These results are numbered. You can see here, next to the first result, you'll see a number 1, and then you'll see the 2, and so on. So for this one, I am going to click on the second one, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days. So you'll see the blue text, that is where you click, and it's going to expand the results and give us a lot more information about that book specifically. So I'm going to click this link, and it's going to pop up and show us all the different information that we can find about this book in our catalog. So you'll see here the title is at the top. Underneath that, you'll see there's an author name. So for this title, the author is Jeff Kinney. You can also click on that, and it will show you all the books that Jeff Kinney has written, but we're going to stick with title for today. Underneath that, you'll find where it says call number. The call number is just a fancy way of saying where the book is located. So you'll see here the F at the beginning of this call number stands for fiction. Fiction means that the book is not real. And the next 3 things that we see here are KIN, which stand for the first 3 letters of the author's last name. In this case, our author is Jeff Kinney. So the first 3 letters of his last name are KIN. Underneath that, we'll see there's a publication date. That's when the book was written. So this book was written in 2009. And then we can also see here, there's some subject information. Now that's going to tell you what this book was about. So you'll see there are some different search terms or subject terms. It says summer, diaries, and humorous stories. So those are the subject terms for this book. That gives us a little bit of a clue. If you had no idea what this book was about, that would give you a little bit of information about what you can expect from this book. So we'll know that it happened during the summer, that it's a diary format, which we can also see from the title, and that it's going to be a humorous story or a funny story. If we scroll down, you can see it says the ISBN number, and there's also a physical description. So right here, it'll tell us how many pages the book has. So this book has 214 pages. So it also says ILL. That means there are illustrations or pictures in the book. And then I wanted to draw your attention to this also. It says see below for your search availability. Total available in AISD. That means in all the schools in Austin Independent School District, there are 136 copies of this book. But you'll see here in our school library, we have just 1 copy. It says Riley Elementary School. There's 1 barcode number, and it's actually checked out right now. So there are no copies of this available in our library right now, but we do have 1 copy. We could also scroll down, and there shows us 2 other options that we can click on. So if we click on this arrow, there's a summary, And this is going to tell you a summary of what the book is about. So we can read this to see what the book is about, to see if there are any awards that it's won. So this one, there are no awards associated with this title. It's just a summary of what the book was about. We can also click here and see reviews. So this was reviewed by 2 magazines, and you can read what they thought about the book. So this book was a fiction book. We know that because it says F right here, and it also gives us a clue right here. Next to summer, there's the word fiction. So I'm going to click out of this one, and we're going to do a nonfiction example. So if I want to search for a different title, all I have to do is click on those words and erase them. So I am going to do a nonfiction title now. So for our nonfiction book that we are going to practice looking at, I am going to type in the book The Boo-Boos That Changed the World, which was a Bluebonnet book from last year. So I'm going to type that in here, The Boo-Boos That Changed the World. And this book is the true story of how Band-Aids were invented. So we only have one title here. We don't have to search through the different titles because this is kind of a unique title. There aren't that many other ones that are titled the same. So here, we'll find all the same information that we looked at for the fiction books, only you're going to notice here that the call number is going to look very different. So the author is going to be listed the same. It'll do last name and then a comma and then the first name. For the call number, though, you're going to see just numbers here instead of an F. So the call number for this book is 617.1. And that's going to tell us that this book is nonfiction. When you see numbers at the beginning of a call number, that usually means that the book is nonfiction. And then you'll also notice we still have the the first three letters of the author's last name. So because this author is Barry Wittenstein, we'll see W-I-T at the beginning. Those are the first 3 letters of his last name. So that'll be after the call number. So we have the numerical value, the 617.1, and then we still have the WIT for the first 3 letters of the author's last name. And you'll find here we have a lot of the same information that we saw in the fiction books. We still have the publication date when the book was written, but we also see here there's some different information about the reading level and the lexile, which is just how difficult the words are to read. But we still have the same subject terms. So we see here this is about bandages and bandaging, skin, wounds and injuries, and medical innovations. So we see these are a little bit different than the fiction ones. The fiction search terms all had the term and then it said fiction next to it. These don't say fiction because this book is nonfiction. This is about something that really happened. So you'll see here it just lists the search term, the subject term there. And then we can scroll down and it still has, like I said before, the ISBN number. It'll tell us how many things there are. There are color illustrations. This one doesn't tell us how many pages long it is because it's a shorter book. And then we can see there are 84 copies of this book available in Austin ISD. We have 1 copy of it available at Riley. There's just one item barcode that's listed here. And we see that it says it's in the stacks, which means it's the nonfiction section. We can click on this. It also shows us the summary. This book was about Band-Aids and how they were invented by accident. And so you can see that summary there. If you had no idea what the book was about, you could click on the summary and get an idea of what the book would be about. There's also the reviews here of the different articles that were written about this book. And this one actually has excerpts as well. So this is just a little sample of the book.